LiberalViewer presents.
So attacking President Obama's honesty is pretty much a daily occurrence over on Fox News, but in recent weeks, Fox News has been getting support from some far less partisan sources, as you can see, for example, in the recent commentary from supposedly straight news anchor Gregg Jarrett in this clip.
Our Fox poll found roughly half of America thinks that Obama is dishonest and untrustworthy, and a majority think he knowingly lied about Obamacare. So that's pretty stunning. That'll be used in ads. Plus, infamously, the president awarded by Politifact Lie of the Year, and Washington Post fact checker pretty much doing the same thing.
Now, the Politifact Lie of the Year award Gregg Jarrett was talking about there was awarded to President Obama for his promise about Obamacare that if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. President Obama's gotten huge criticism in the media for weeks on that promise, not just from Fox News or neoconservatives like Bill Kristol from the Weekly Standard, but pretty much across the board, as you can see when Bill Kristol made the Lie of the Year award argument on a recent edition of ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos here.
The worst year of his presidency was 2010, and the worst day was March 23rd, 2010, when he signed the health care legislation and said, on the very day he signed it, I'd just like to remind people of this one more time, I said this once or twice, but it bears repeating. If you like your current insurance, you will keep your current insurance. Nobody is changing what you've got if you're happy with it. If you like your doctor, you'll be able to keep your doctor. But he said that on the day he signed the law. It was false. And, you know, the worst thing in politics, you can get away with misleading people if the result is pretty good. You can get away with a bad result sometimes if people think you've been sincere and honest and trying to pursue a policy that you honestly felt was right. The combination of misleading and a bad result, and the results are going to keep getting worse, incidentally, for the next few months. I think that's devastating.
Politifact called that the Lie of the Year. How do you explain how it was allowed to stand for so long?
Honestly, George, I can't. I've thought about it over and over again. I've asked friends of mine in the White House how this could happen, because there were people who knew this. In fact, there were people in the press, and some actually pointed it out, and yet over and over again, the president was allowed to go out there and say that.
Now, that's Steve Ratner, who actually used to work for the Obama administration as the car czar during the auto bailout, and before that was George Stephanopoulos from the Clinton administration, but neither of them was willing to defend Obama's promise that if you like your health care plan, you can keep it, which is somewhat strange given that there's actually a section written into the Obamacare law, Section 1251, which purports to preserve the right to maintain coverage for all plans in existence when President Obama signed the law on March 23, 2010, and what President Obama said in that Bill Kristol quote from 2010 specifically referred to current insurance, but Bill Kristol also left out a few words that were pretty important in his quote. If you listen carefully when he quoted Obama saying,
I said this once or twice, but it bears repeating. If you like your current insurance, you will keep your current insurance. Nobody is changing what you've got if you're happy with it. If you like your doctor, you'll be able to keep your doctor.
So Bill Kristol either wittingly or unwittingly left out President Obama saying there would be no government takeover, which is an important context to his promise that a lot of people seem to leave out. It's important to remember Obama was promising that Obamacare wouldn't get rid of the private insurance that covers most Americans because Obamacare is not a government takeover of the healthcare industry. Government-run healthcare was a false claim about Obamacare that was repeated over and over again by conservatives, especially on Fox News, in what was later revealed in a leaked Fox News memo to be a deliberate plan to mislead. In fact, the importance of remembering that Obama's promise was a reaction to that false claim about government-run healthcare is demonstrated by this 2008 Politifact analysis that rated candidate Obama's promise true when he said, if you've got a healthcare plan that you like, you can keep it. And the reason Politifact said it was true in 2008 was because Obama was reacting to opponents who attacked his plan as government-run healthcare, even though he advocated a program that seeks to build on the current system rather than dismantling it and starting over. And understanding that Obamacare built on the current system rather than taking it over is also important to understanding that when Obama promised if you like your plan and your doctor you can keep them, he was promising Obamacare wouldn't take them away, but he couldn't have been promising your insurance company could never change or discontinue your plan or your access to your doctor. And that's also clear from something else Bill Kristol left out in his quote of President Obama from the day he signed the law, and that's what President Obama said immediately after Bill Kristol's quote that you can see here.
I said this once or twice, but it bears repeating. If you like your current insurance, you will keep your current insurance. No government takeover. Nobody's changing what you've got if you're happy with it. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor. In fact, more people will keep their doctors because your coverage will be more secure and more stable than it was before I signed this legislation.
So, did you hear that last part where he said more people would be able to keep their doctors? Why would he say more people would be able to keep their doctors if he meant everyone could keep their doctors? Really, the only reasonable interpretation is he meant Obamacare wouldn't take away your plan or your doctor, not that he was guaranteeing your insurance company wouldn't take them away. And that context, along with the context of Obama reacting to the government-run healthcare myth, and of course Section 1251 of the Affordable Care Act that specifically preserves the right to maintain coverage, all mean that Obama's promise that if you like your plan you can keep it was far from the lie of the year and not really a lie at all. At worst, it was one of those political slogans that sounds like it's promising more than it actually does, I think, but I want to know what you think. Was President Obama's promise that if you like your plan you can keep it the lie of the year, or even a lie at all? And given my arguments it's not a lie, why has the major news media been nearly universal in branding this particular statement from President Obama a lie?
YouTube, you decide.